Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick dropping in. Hope everybody is off to a great start for your week. I hope that whatever you have planned, you are anchored and centered and focused and ready to go out and make it happen. Look, I'm not going to be long. Today, I want to talk to you about the importance of taking control of your destiny. I want to get you past the idea that you are a victim of your circumstances, victim of temporal situations that you may be flowing through. I want to get you to understand that your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny. The title is Taking Control of Your Destiny, 5 Principles to Manifest Your Dream Life. Before I get started, I want to do something real briefly because I know some of my Christian brothers and sisters have a problem with the word manifest. Manifest is simply a more modern term for the process of executing your faith. Whether you're getting bad results or good results, you are manifesting on a daily basis. Your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny. What you believe and what you expect and anticipate is ultimately what you are drawing to yourself. That is what faith is. That's how God designed the universe to respond to your faith. You will never get beyond what you expect. You will never get beyond what you declare and demand. And this is life. It doesn't mean that it's magic. It doesn't mean that it's sorcery. It doesn't mean that it's witchcraft. It simply means what you give your attention to and focus on is what you're going to feel and ultimately create. The book of Proverbs tells you that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And these are the things when Eliphaz was reasoning with Job after Job experienced his catastrophic loss. One of the things he said to him, he said, you should declare a thing and it shall be established for you. He understood that process was God with God, and Job would later have a conversation with God, and this will be confirmed. In other words, there are just simply things that are there no matter where you search it and no matter where you stand that says you are more in control of your destiny than you believe. You are not a victim of circumstances until you put yourself at the mercy of your circumstances. So I'm going to give you 5 tips, and I'm going to briefly touch on them. And in order to keep me under my time allotment, I've actually got it written down. You know me, I just sit up and I go. I've been doing this my whole life. It's something I love. It's something I'm passionate about. So I can just talk and talk and talk. But I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to keep it to the point because I want to share it on multiple platforms. The first thing you got to do if you're going to be in control of the outcome of your life, it doesn't mean that you control every situation. It doesn't mean that you have ultimate control, because remember, there are other people living their lives that you don't control, and their decisions and movements will have an influence on your life. But you have to set an internal state that transcends your external circumstances. We'll talk about that. First thing you got to do is master your emotions. What this means is you got to learn to navigate the emotional landscape you're going through it. And I'll talk about again over on this later on down the line as we continue this series. But what I want to do is tell you, you have to manage your emotions. You have to maintain and develop a point where you master your emotions, where things on the external aren't negatively impacting you and producing emotions. Why? Because the emotions that you emit have a frequency, have a vibration, and produce different biochemical and neurobiological chemicals, the neuroreceptors that are so important in producing our feelings of well-being, whether it's serotonin, the dopamine, oxytocin, all of these different things are going to be triggered by the emotions. So what are you feeling? How do you feel? You need to control your emotions. You need to develop an internal state in which no matter what's happening on the outside, your understanding about the total outcome, how much you have a power to influence things are at the forefront. In other words, I consistently tell myself on a regular basis, Rick, you're built for this. Why? Because life is challenging. As they say, life be lifing. And what that means, when you say life be lifing, what it means, things are going to happen that's out of your control. Things are going to happen that don't align with what you want. You don't fold, you don't turn back, you don't give up. What do? You align yourself with what you believe for yourself, what you have established for yourself. The things that are good will not be withheld from you. The universe cannot resist you. And what you have to understand is that when I say the universe, nothing in this universe, everything is matter and consciousness. And God designed this universe to respond to your faith. It cannot resist you. The moment that you truly believe something, the moment that you stand in a faith that is by its very nature dynamic, meaning that it is not static, it literally drives your impulses and your movements and your thoughts and everything about you. You will begin to convince the universe to conspire with you. You don't have to chase your dreams. You draw your dreams to you. Number two, stop yielding to external circumstances. That's another thing. Something pops up and you go, oh my God, there you go. I can't win. Oh my God, I can't win for losing. Oh my God, this horrible thing. Oh my, and what happens is you give the power to the thing you focus on. You're focusing on the problem, you're focusing on the circumstance, you're focusing on the thing that is uncomfortable, and you're not focusing on the solution. I talk about this all the time. People who have observed me over time, who hadn't had enough time to be around me to really truly understand how I move, but close enough to be aware of some of the things I'm dealing with. I've had people tell me, you're in denial. And I'm like, why do you say I'm in denial? It's because I know what you're going through. The truth is, they didn't have a clue what I was going through. They knew some of the things I was going through, but that was enough to make them feel like I should have folded. I should have bowed down. I should have been whining. I should have been complaining. I should have been doing all the things that people do when unfavorable circumstances roll into their paradise. But this is what I do when the vicissitudes of life rain down on my parade. I remind myself that this is temporary. I remind myself that I'm headed to a better place. I remind myself that the management of these circumstances will produce the outcome. So I'm still in control, even though there are external forces at work. I remind myself. So when you see me smiling in the face of challenge, it's not that I don't recognize the challenge. It knows that I just know that I'm built for this. Number one, repattern and rewire your brain for success. There's this thing called mind-heart coherence. And what it means is it's bringing your emotions and your mind and your thinking in alignment so that your emotions, in other words, you've got to be able to create emotions that are congruent with the things you expect. So how do you do that? You do that through visualization. You do that through meditation. You do that through journaling. You do that through affirmations. This is what I work with my clients on a lot. I work with my clients with all the things I'm sharing with you. These are things that I've used for years to help people completely turn their lives around. But here's it. So then this mind, heart, or brain heart coherence is a bio-neurological or neurobiological happening. It's literally creating neurotransmitters. Neuroreceptors is creating new neural pathways through neuroplasticity, meaning that I can get rid of old thinking and produce new thinking, and that new thinking will trigger new emotions. I can visualize at a state that allows my body to experience it. Neuroscience research has revealed to us now that the brain does not have the capacity to effectively distinguish between what's being imagined and what's really happening. And what does that mean? That means I get to create a reality that's more in alignment with what I want through my imagination. And this is how you change your future. You don't change your future by consulting your past. You don't go back to your past and say, this is what I want to do with my life. Because if you've never done it before, your past has no reference to give you the okay to do it. The past will remind you of all the things you've done. And you need to move into a new space. So what do? You have to go into your imagination and conceive it. You have to get the imagery, read it in magazines, look for it in books, cut it out, put it on a vision board, write it down, take snapshots, put it on your screensaver on your phone and on your computer. What are you doing? You're creating a visualized process that is developing a new neural pathway in your brain that becomes a new thought process that every time you visit it, it becomes stronger. And the opposing view that you've been holding forever, we'll call them limiting beliefs, becomes smaller and more atrophied because now you're not giving it your attention. You're not saying what you can't do anymore. You're not saying how hard it is to pay your bills anymore. You're not saying I'll never find love anymore. You're not saying any of the negative things that experience and life has taught you to that point, because you get to rewrite it. You get to rewrite. This is what repatterning and rewiring is. It's literally overflowing and over charging your brain with new stimuli that is in alignment with what it is you say you want in life. This is what Your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny. Is about this. As a man thinketh, so whatever you're giving your thought to, you become. Your thoughts are literally the seeds of your destiny. Your thought is the beginning moment of a future reality. It is at that point that you have a thought. Now you can literally kill that particular thought. If it's a negative thought, you can kill it by overcoming it and replacing it with a new thought that you give the attention to. But if you don't interrupt the thought and you consistently revisit it, it becomes your future reality. There's no changing that. There's no way of praying your way out of it, singing your way out of it. You are going to have to understand that when I master my emotions, I do something. When I repattern my and rewire my brain, I do something. Then focus on development and spiritual growth. You got to be, there's a mantra I say every morning when I finish my journaling: no 0 days, no excuses. What does that mean? Every day that I have to grow. Every day there's got to be something about me that I develop. There's got to be, whether it's in the gym, whether it's a book I read, whether it's research I examine and review, whether it's consulting, a mentor, or consulting an advisor, or whether it's sitting down and embracing and developing more powerful relationships with my family. It's about becoming someone better than the person that woke up this morning. I cannot go to bed the same person that woke up. That means I wasted an entire 86,400 seconds because I took that sleep but didn't use it for anything of meaningful value. This is how you have to go every day. Is I'm developing spiritually. How? I'm going to spend more time in a space with God where I'm not demanding anything. I'm simply listening. That's one of the most powerful ways to open up your mind to revelation. Put an image in your mind of what it is you desire to be and rest in that image. That image, if it's of a higher frequency, meaning it's positive, it gives you a good feeling. It opens you up. It opens you up to the state of revelation where you are literally able to hear from God, not audibly, but in your spiritual connection to God. And I believe it's Romans chapter 8 says, the Spirit of God bears witness with my spirit. And so, in other words, there's the communication. So here we are with that. So then finally, it's understand the power of manifestation. The power of manifestation is not magic. It's not sorcery. It's not witchcraft. It is simply the execution and process of realizing the things you believe in. So if I believe that I can become, if I believe that I can overcome, if I believe I can conquer, all these things that we talk about, if I believe no weapon formed against me will prosper, guess what happens? If I truly believe no weapon formed against me will prosper, which is something we consistently quote as Christian believers, that no weapon formed, but then I'm out here and I am in a state of anxiety. Be anxious for nothing. I'm in a state of fear. God has not given me a spirit of fear, but I'm in these places, but yet I say that no weapon formed against me will prosper. When I truly understand that no weapon formed against me will prosper, there's no anxiety. There's no fear. There's no trepidation. There's no withholding of energy, effort, and force moving towards the thing that I desire. Even when I don't know how or understand what's going to take place, I trust that no weapon formed against me will prosper. I trust that anything that I declare shall be established and that it shall light a path to where I'm going. I understand that I am more than a conqueror. I understand that I have the ability to bring my thoughts into captivity. I understand that I literally have way more control over my life than I've been giving myself credit for, and that God gave me that dominion. God gave me that power. God gave me the ability to lay out a future that is a representation of the designer, the creator. And so, in other words, there's nothing about this design that God has put together that's about us wallowing in our misery. I say it all the time that pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Pain is this thing you're going to encounter. It's just simply going to happen. But suffering is a choice. Suffering is the choice in the decision of identifying the thing that's causing the pain at a level that you won't let it go. You're going to stay there. You're going to wallow in it. You're going to whine about it. You're going to complain about it. And every time you whine and complain, it is a sign of helplessness. Nobody complains about something they can change. change. Nobody whines about something they can change. So the moment you start whining and complaining, you signal your brain that I'm in a state of helplessness and hopelessness. And at that moment, you have given more power to your circumstance than you have to your force and your ability to overcome it. These are the things that we have the power to do. These are the things that we have the force and the power to do. We have the ability to do some pretty remarkable and exceptional things in our lives when we stop acquiescing to external circumstances. So that's it. Those are 5 tips that you literally can march on and develop. This is not mystical and magical. There's no magical quotient you're going to say and all of a sudden your life is going to change. There's no button, a switch you can flip that all of a sudden you're going to be in direct alignment with God and everything's going to flow towards you. The favor of God is the energy of God connecting with those who have chosen to align with their design and function in their purpose. When you start to stand in, believe in, and walk in and do things, you'll find that you have far more power in this world than you imagine. And that though you cannot control all external circumstances, you definitely control how you respond to them. On that note, look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. In the description box is one of my premier online courses called The Mind Unleashed. If you want to learn how to get rid of limiting beliefs, if you want to learn how to overcome procrastination, if you want to learn how to rewire and reprogram your mind and your brain so that you are focused on the right things, saying the right things, thinking the right things, doing the right things, this course is what I do when I work with people one-on-one, but it's an opportunity for people who may not be ready to spend as much money as it takes to work with me to go out and do this. The link is in the description box. You have the option of paying in full, which will give you a free session with me, which is a $550 value, or you can choose the installment plan. Either way will give you immediate access. One just gives you a free sit down with yours truly, which is becoming increasingly rare as I expand and we look to do more things on a global level. But again, it is immensely important that you start to take control of your thinking, take control of your mental and emotional states, and start moving towards something extraordinary, something phenomenal. You are built for it. On that note, look, I'm gonna get ready to get out here. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. And I challenge you to do the same thing. On that note, have an unbelievable remainder of your day.